Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chad. I'm your tall tailor. About a year or so ago, maybe more, I'm not too sure, I used to make a lot more bags, and I did get a commission for one recently. I want to show you guys basically the process about how I'm going to be making it. It's going to be a crossbody bag similar to some of the totes I've made in the past. So we're just going to be making that. I got a whole bunch of denim here. We're going to be making a denim patchwork crossbody bag, and I'm just going to show you guys the process. Yeah, so let's get to sewing. Really simple, really quick. Before we go over and sew or cut anything, you got to go and find out our dimensions and see exactly what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be making like a crossbody bag, medium size, something kind of like this. Rounded edges, kind of like a rectangle. I want this final length to be 16 inches and our width to be 18 inches. And also I'm gonna have a depth here of around 3 or so inches. Not entirely sure, I'm just gonna figure that out as I go. Additionally, I do want 2 zipper pockets on the front on one side, so 2 zipper pockets on one side, and I also want on the back, I want sort of like an open dump pocket, kind of something you could just kind of toss some stuff on. Maybe I'll put a snap here on the back. And inside, I want a really small pocket as well too, a small zipper pocket on the inside. This is gonna be pretty simple, 16 by 18 by 3. And I'm gonna be making this entire thing out of denim and with a whole bunch of patchwork. So I got a general sense about this. I'm gonna be grabbing our fabric and we're gonna be going. The majority of fabric that I'm gonna be using for this is a bunch of just jeans. I like using jeans for making like denim patchwork stuff because the fading on the jeans looks really nice when you just get it from actual jeans instead of just getting denim fabric. I do have a small piece of denim fabric that I got here that I'm going to use kind of like the base for a couple of the sides, just because it's pretty thick, it's a little bit more rigid, and it's gonna be good for a bag. And I'm also gonna be doing French seams and everything on the inside, but we're gonna be going over all that when I get to the bag. All right, so I got a piece of our denim that I just folded in half here. You can see that. And I'm gonna be using this to cut the main side body panel of our bag. This entire thing is 18 inches. This is 9 inches. And I'm just gonna be folding this on the inside. So that's how I'm gonna get my final length of 16 inches. Anyway, so I got my scissors here. I'm just gonna be cutting this out. I'm gonna be cutting out 2 of these. All right, so that's one cutout. We cut out 2, and I'm just gonna set one aside for now and measure the perimeter of this, because here's where we're going to be adding a 2 or 3 inch or so strap around the side to give the bag a little bit of depth. All right, so we got 25 inches for half of the perimeter. And I'm just gonna double that to give us 50 inches around the entire thing, plus 1 inch just in case I messed up on any of the measurements. I'm just gonna make it 51 inches. I'm gonna cut a strap that's 4 inches by 51 inches. I'm gonna be making that out of a bunch of our denim here. So I'm just gonna be cutting that and stitching it together and then giving you guys a look. All right, I got a little bit overzealous here when cutting out these straps. I have 3 of these dark blue pieces, 4 inches by around 12. 3 of these medium blue pieces that are about 4 inches by like 10 inches or so. Let me just double check, let's see. Oh, 11 inches, my bad, 11 inches. And 2 of these light blue ones that are about 12 inches by 4 inches as well. If you add all these up, the length, so 12 times, what's it called? This is already like 60 inches here. So it's gonna be a little bit too much fabric that I cut. As I said, to get a little bit overzealous, but that's fine. All the excess I'll use to add little bits of patches and stuff around the bag. So what I'm gonna be doing next is attaching these together. Let me start with 2 of these. So instead of laying them with the right sides facing together like you usually do when stitching most things, I'm gonna be doing French seams because I want the interior to have like a cleaner look. So instead of stitching them together with the right sides facing each other, I'm going to be stitching them together with the wrong sides facing each other like that. And I'm going to be stitching it at a 1/4 inch, well, actually not even a 1/4 inch, as close as I can get to the end, the side here. And when I make that stitch, I'll be flipping it over like that and then making another stitch to secure the raw end. So I'm going to be taking this to the sewing machine and basically stitching all these up together. What design am I going to do? I think I'm going to do like light wash, medium, dark, maybe a light at the end, something like
light, medium, dark, light. You know, I'll figure it out, whatever. I'll be back to the sewing machine, I'll be right back.
All right, we're back for the sewing machine. And I don't remember if I said when you stitch these, you want to stitch them wrong sides facing together or right sides facing together. The correct thing to do is for the French seam, stitch it with the wrong sides, these two sides, facing together, do a stitch, flip it, and then stitch again over the top. So you can see there's no, we can zoom in there. So as you can see, there's no like overlocking or no fraying or anything like that. I think it's just gonna give a cleaner look on the inside of the bag. We are going to just grab this and set it to the side for now, and we're gonna be working on the large body panels of the bag. So we have two of these, one that's gonna be on the front of the bag, one that's gonna be on the back. And I'm going to be adding, first I'm gonna be adding some like little patch designs on the bag just to give it a little bit more character. And then we're gonna be adding a large pocket here. So I'm going to take this to the sewing machine, just add like a little bit of patches just so something that, you know, looks a little different. All right, we're back from the sewing machine. As you can see, I just added like a small little patch here. Nothing too crazy. That's kind of all I added on the bag. I might add some more, but right now I just kind of like how it looks. It's kind of just subtle and stuff like that. The next thing we're going to be doing is adding a pocket. I actually already took the liberty of making a pocket, so I'm just going to be bringing that out and then adding to the bag like that. And then we can go and take this to the sewing machine and just stitch this on, kind of like find like a nice point. You want it to be closer to, as close as you like, closer to the bottom, because the top part of the bag here, we're going to be folding it over like that. So by about like 2 or so inches. So have a little bit more space on the top. All right, I'm going to bring this to the sewing machine and then be right back. And we are done. That's what it looks like coming from the sewing machine. I kind of added like more patches, more like geometric shapes and stuff, just to make it look a little, I don't know, I think it looks a little bit better. It's obviously still like a little bit of a work in progress, but this is kind of what we got so far. I'm going to be adding a snap fastener right there in the future. I'm just going to set this aside for now and do the same thing to the other half of the bag. I have 2 zippers here that I'm going to be putting parallel, kind of like this. Yeah, something kind of like that. Kind of in the middle section of the bag, kind of like that. Maybe down here. Let me rip these off. And just to make it a little bit more difficult for myself, I'm going to make one of these zipper pockets on the exterior, and I'm going to make another one on the interior. Kind of like when you open this, you go inside the bag, and this one, when you open this one, you're like still on the outside of the bag. So I'm going to make 2 zipper pockets like that. All right, so I just did a little rough sketch about where I'm going to put the zipper. From the bottom of the bag to here is 12 inches, and this space is ½ an inch, more than enough space I need for the zipper. And this entire length from here to here is 7 inches, which is the length of the zipper here. So I'm just going to quickly mark the center of this line. White chalk there, hopefully you guys can see that. Make it a little bit darker. Boom. And then add a little triangle I'm going to cut. All right, and now I'm going to take my snips, cut the fabric. This denim's kind of thick actually, a little bit difficult to cut with my snips. I should just use my scissors. All right, perfect. So I cut open the bag, a little slit there. I'm gonna peel that open there. And I'm going to flip this over and just grab my iron and kind of quickly iron out the sections. Perfect. Now I can just put the zipper underneath there and then just top stitch all the way around. Perfect. I'm going to take this to the sewing machine, top stitch the edges, and I'll be right back. All right, back from the machine. Both of our back and front of the bag are done. Now I'm just going to be attaching the side panel to the bags. And again, we're going to be doing a French seam just because I like the way that looks. So we're going to be putting the wrong sides facing each other, and I'm just going to pin all the way around the circumference of the bag, all the way around. Just doing it one side at a time. Taking care that when I get to this bulk where this French seam is, I'm just going to be putting it down towards the bottom of the bag. Making it face towards the bottom. I'm going to do that all the way around the bag and I'll be right back. We're back, baby. I pinned up the entire side wall of the bag all the way around on one side. And you can see I made all the French seam parts face down. They're all like facing down. This one's facing down here. This one's facing down, so that it's just a little bit easier when you go to the bag. All right, so I'm going to be taking this to the sewing machine. I'm going to be stitching all the way around at, I think, 3/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch or something like that. And I'll be right back. Alrighty, we are back from the sewing machine, and we actually did quite a few. So I did the French seams on both of the, I need to trim off all this excess thread, but I'll do that anyway. We did the French seams on both sides here. Is it going to focus? Yeah, I could zoom in. There you go. You can just see how thick the denim is. Shout out to the, Singer heavy duty machine, because like it sewed through this denim like no problem.
especially in parts here, because I did the French seams, it's like really thick with the denim, and just stitch through all that no problem. In cases like this where it might be a little bit difficult to actually stitch the fabric together, I grabbed some pliers, just like some pliers I got at the dollar store or whatever, and I actually really just like squeezed the fabric so it would sit a little bit more nicely. It'll sit nice and flat. Or you can even take a hammer and just kind of like pound at it so that'll it'll be a little bit more easier for you to sew. So anyway, I stitched the entirety of the bag. Whole bag is stitched out, and right now it's just flipped inside out. So I'm just going to flip the bag inside out. All right, this is what the bag's looking like so far. One side, the other side, that's the bottom. I'm just going to go take my scissors and just go around the edges of the bag and just kind of trim up and trim off all the excess little frayed pieces over there. So it'll be a little bit easier to just look cleaner and look nicer. And I'm also going to take my iron and then press everything out and nice and flat. I'll be right back.
All right, so we're done. Please excuse the shoddiness of the sewing project. Well, not shoddiness, more like the shoddiness of the filming process, because I pretty much didn't film the entire half of making this bag, but the bag is done. This is what it looks like. It's a crossbody bag with all these like little denim scraps on them. It turned out really well. Sorry I didn't get to finish sewing the rest of it, but I'll just kind of pick up where I left off here with the description. So I finished the 2 zipper pockets on one side. Things I added were the strap, which is pretty like self-explanatory how I made this. I just stitched a whole bunch of these denim pieces together and really made sure to line them up so that they went on smoothly and with no fault there. I added these like silver slider pieces, one on the side here and then one in the middle here to sort of match the zippers. And I also added these metal snap, one on this side, 2 on that side to open up this pocket, 1, and to open up the inside. On the inside, I also had this little pocket here. It's just like one of those open top pockets. You can just slip some in there real quick. So to sort of like divide the interior of the bag. Actually, let me just do the on body right now. Kind of like what it looks like on body. That's one side and that's the other side, both pockets. So this one's just down here. This big pocket's all the way on the inside. You can kind of see it's all on the inside of the bag. And this one is just in the front here, so it's a little bit smaller. And this one is a little bit of a smaller pocket. That's it. That's pretty much it. One thing that was a little bit challenging when making this bag, but I'm really glad I did, was adding all those French seams on the inside. I think it looks a lot cooler, man. Like I just kind of like it. I like how it looks. These little French seams right here. In future, I think I might add this little bulk on the outside because I think it might look a little bit cooler if it's on the outside of the bag. I might post this on my Instagram too, or maybe like in the community tab or something like that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the bag. Again, thank you guys for watching. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.